What metaphor do I put inside my anxiety relief script? So, this is a great question, and I'm going to answer it from a perspective of using advanced conversational hypnosis because that is my expertise and what I'm trained in. And so, inside our ACH sessions, the metaphors that we use are the metaphors that our clients give us. That is it, super simple. Excuse me. I'm going to repeat that. The metaphors that we use are the metaphors that our clients give us. So we don't go before our session to prepare for the metaphors that we will put inside the session. It is absolutely, it doesn't actually make sense to do that. And here's why. I am someone who will talk in metaphors when I'm inside advanced conversational hypnosis sessions. Inside the intro to ACH course, there is a demo there of a special client who who healed her eczema using metaphors within that session. Now, the therapist who was helping me could not have predicted any of the metaphors that came out of there because it was completely unconscious. And to be quite frank, it did not make any sense. The metaphors that came out were spontaneous and were really directed to the problem that I came in with, which was the eczema. There were things about blimps in the sky, strings falling down, something about Barbies that I talked about. It still doesn't make sense at this point, but at the end of the day, the eczema is clear. So it worked. We got the results. And so this is why preparing for metaphors is completely useless because we don't know what is going to come up within the sessions. And the best metaphorical conversation comes with spontaneity when the client themselves are the type of person who has whose unconscious mind expresses itself through metaphors. So that would be the only time that I would use metaphors. I would never, ever, ever go before my sessions and look at my client's presenting problem and it being, okay, it's a weight loss session. They want to lose more weight, and me thinking of metaphors for the weight loss because I do not know that client unconscious mind well enough to be able to predict what is going to happen until I actually sit with them. And so this is such um, a mindset that is difficult to grasp at first because we have been taught traditionally to prepare, right? Especially in hypnosis, where we have a script, especially in NLP, where everything is structured as to what we need to say, not really how to work with a client, just what to say. And that's not as powerful as we want. And of course, we want to make this big impact today, all day, every day, until the end of time for our clients, right? And so by utilizing our clients' own metaphors, that is how we're going to stop the hit or miss results for our clients and instead have the consistency of clients having breakthroughs within the session because we are speaking their language. That is really it, right? We want to know how to actually speak our client's language. And if that client is through metaphors, great. We can use that metaphors. We can play around with it. We can question it. And if it's not how they do it, great. That's fine too. There are a million different unconscious moments that we focus on inside our ACH trainings. And so if that client is presenting with a metaphor, you ask them a question and they're like, I I want to lose weight, and they talk about something like being on quicksand or something. This is completely made up, but you're talking about the problem, you're going through the interview, hypnotic interview with them inside your hypnosis session, and then they somehow have described this feeling of weight in their body, just like sinking on quicksand, right? What you want to do is just help your clients place their attention on that metaphor, be playful with it, right? Ask them about the quicksand. Like, what is happening in the quicksand? Like, is it just your feet that are underneath the quicksand? How fast are you going down the quicksand? Being very, very playful with it because that's how you draw your client's attention into that moment. And really, this is the process that we do inside our ACH sessions. But this that sounds very, very simple, but not that easy when you're in the sessions. That's why we have the demos. That's why I get my students to practice this over and over. And this is something we practice over 3 days because this is one of the most challenging things to wrap our minds around. That's why it's so important to have that community and that coaching as well if you really want to master it. So just place your client's attention on it. And the best metaphor that you're going to use for your anxiety clients is if that client with anxiety sits down in your session and then starts talking about metaphors, that is how you are going to really utilize that metaphor in the best way possible using their own. If they don't have the metaphors, use other unconscious information. And if you want more info on that, I have an intro to ACH course, which gives you the intro to unconscious moments. Definitely comment intro to ACH below to access your $0 course.